Next week at the Houston Sports Awards, one of the nominees for the prestigious Community Impact Award is a woman who has dedicated her career to promoting inclusivity in athletics.
From wheelchair basketball and rugby to tennis and even powerlifting, Peggy Turner believes the world of sports should be accessible to everyone. This is her story.
Let's circle up right here, guys.
Peggy Turner is dedicated to empowering people through sports.
1, 2, 3,
Spanning 40 years, her career in adapted sports is something she sees as a calling. Today, she works as the adapted sports coordinator at Tia Memorial Herman and also coaches their Hot Wheels youth basketball team. To help me gain just a little perspective, Peggy challenged me to try to get to our interview spot in a wheelchair.
The world can't change and be flat, so we want to help them learn how to navigate the things and see in everyday life.
For Peggy, rising in spite of the limits life lumps upon us goes way back to when she was a young girl.
You've said that sports saved your life and you wouldn't be here without it. What do you mean by that?
As a young kid, I always wanted to play, and there were no opportunities for girls in organized sports. You know, growing up in the 60s, before Title IX passed, there was really no sports for women on TV. So after Title IX passed, my school started a basketball team my sophomore year, and I was able to play. I just kind of felt lost as a kid because I tried to play football with the boys at school in the playground, just tossing a ball around, just basic play, and I kind of got in trouble. And when I was in 5th grade, I got a basketball. I took it to school, was playing on the playground, and got that taken away. My mom was called to come take it home, was told girls don't play sports. And so as a kid, I felt very ashamed, like something was wrong with me because I wanted to play. I wanted to do these things. So it's kind of like the you can't was the let me show you I can kind of proof. So when Title IX passed and we had basketball, I just eat, sleep, and breathe it. My whole focus changed. My grades went up in school. I had this community of friends, and some of the other girls came and tried out. I couldn't have told you then, but as a young adult, I learned that I believe what happened then was because a law passed, the school was forced. So the feelings were that perhaps the man that became the basketball coach might not really have wanted that job. So laws and rules and change without attitude change can be almost as devastating.
That's so true. I mean, it takes time after laws change to have attitudes change.
Yes.
And that's an important thing. I mean, how do we do that?
Through sport. Sport's the connection. It's what I've found to be kind of that common denominator as it relates now to people with disabilities. But if you kind of look back through history, some significant dates that stand out that major societal shifts changed. 1964, Civil Rights. 1972, Title IX. 1990, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And they all are very different but have similarities in it's about exclusion. But if you can use sport and find a common ground, I think that's the common denominator. Everybody can relate to sport, and if you can change hearts, you can change minds, and you can change society.
You ended up in Houston for one of your first jobs.
I had very little experience working with people with disabilities at that time. My background was recreation leisure studies, but I love sport and I loved recreation. I loved the value and the meaning and what it meant. So it was a perfect fit to work with a population of people who were discounted, who did not have access before ADA, to come in and be able to say, yeah, you can play. If I can do it, anybody can. And we hosted the largest international wheelchair basketball tournament in the country on an annual basis for several years, built the first wheelchair softball field in the world. I mean, I could go on and on. Actually started the junior wheelchair sports camp, the first program organized, structured for kids with physical disabilities in the entire greater Houston area in 1990, that summer, right before the Americans with Disabilities Act passed.
Wow.
And the wheelchair basketball evolved from that. We were the Coastal Comets kids team, and 3-4 years later transferred over under the Tier umbrella and became the Tier Hot Wheels.
How much of that little girl who was told no but then didn't want to hear it do you bring to your everyday when you're dealing with people who maybe are facing challenges? When you look at the world, I mean, I was just in a wheelchair just then, and it's difficult to navigate our world. And for a lot of people, when you're facing that, especially if you're new after maybe an accident, that you're new to that life of living in a wheelchair, it's almost like there's a lot of no's.
Yeah. I know what it feels like to feel excluded and want to be included and not have kind of reasons that made sense, and just given the opportunity, what I've been able to do and where I've been able to go is I do believe that everyone deserves a chance to have that opportunity. They don't have that opportunity if they don't have equal access to the opportunity. So you hit the nail on the head, Melanie, when you said maybe if someone acquires a disability, the staff at TIER Memorial Hermann in the rehabilitation hospital, they meet those patients when their life is completely changed. It's not just them, it's their families and their home and their plans in their life. And so at the rehabilitation hospital at TIER, the therapist and the staff there do such an amazing job of just embracing and carrying people through a difficult time, and then giving them that therapy and those tools. When you go for that goal, if you're going to do two hands, don't have one here or here if they go even. Boom, there you go. All right. I got the coolest job in the world because I get to come in and say, there's life after this. Let me show you. Let me kind of handhold and introduce you. A little bit of spin, it'll carry it over the rim. So it's not all about competitive athletics. It's how do you help people find joy in life again. I'm here for a reason. I had options and choices, and I chose this on purpose to catch people, to try to help get them connected for the rest of their life and find joy again.
Oh my gosh, to say she is incredible is a total understatement.
Wow.
So many things to say. Well, a reminder, Peggy Turner is one of many incredible nominees up for awards at next week's Houston Sports Awards. You can get tickets to join us there and find more inspiring stories ahead of the big event by visiting clicktohouston.com/sportsawards.
So wonderful.